Hello, and welcome to Magnetic Symbols, a channel where we look at ancient Japanese kanji characters and use them as portals through which we allow happiness and serenity to enter our lives. My name is Paul, and I'm super excited to be sharing this video with you today because it is so different from all the other videos we have on this channel at the moment. It's our first practical, hands-on video that shows you how to paint your own Japanese kanji characters at home as a fun and meditative practice. It's something that is very powerful in my life. I find that painting these symbols really brings me into the present moment and stills my mind, opening up something deeper in me that this is hard to describe in words. And I hope that you're able to experience the same thing. Now, the character that we will be looking at today is, in my view, perhaps one of the best characters to be using when first starting out in Japanese brushwork, because it teaches you the fundamentals of writing Japanese, and it also represents something that is so powerful and so present in our lives. It is the character for the sun. So without further ado, let's have a look at the sun. So here is the kanji character for the sun. And yes, you may have noticed that it's the same one as on my shirt. This character, pronounced several different ways, but mainly hi or nichi, is the first part of the name for Japan itself in Japanese. Japan is called Nihon or Nippon in Japanese. Ni or nichi, sun, hon, pon, origin. Or land of the rising sun, as we say in English sometimes. The form of the character itself is rectangular, but it evolved from an original round shape with a dot in the center. Over time, the round shape became more squarish and the dot elongated into this horizontal line in the center. And now it looks like this. But it's it looks very easy to draw, and it is something that you can use to see the fundamentals of Japanese writing very easily. When writing Japanese kanji characters, as a rule, you generally go from top to bottom and from left to right. So you can see this really easily in this character. To write the sun, you would start here, you would go down, come back up, go from left to right, down, and back, across, down, across, and there you have it. It looks like 5 lines, but it's actually 4 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's grab a brush and let's just jump right in. Okay, so what do we need to paint Japanese kanji? Well, of course, you're going to need a flat surface, a table or a desk, and then you're going to need something to protect the table or the desk from the ink or the paint that you're going to use. I'm going to use some black felt, but newspaper is fine. Okay, so you have that. Next, you're going to use some paper, of course. If you can get your hands on some calligraphy paper, that's great. Otherwise, any paper is fine. Today, I'm just going to use normal A4 paper. Next, you're going to need a paperweight, something to hold the paper down, to stop it from moving around when you paint on it. I've got this calligraphy paperweight, but anything heavy is fine. A stone would work well, and that would look pretty cool too. After that, you're going to need yourself an ink well or something to hold ink or paint. I've got this Japanese calligraphy ink well, but you could just use a little plastic bowl. You could cut a plastic drink bottle in half and use the bottom of that, that's fine. You're going to need some ink or paint. I'm going to use this black calligraphy ink today. They usually use black ink, but I also like to use watercolours because I think Japanese kanji look really beautiful in colour. And finally, you're going to need a brush. Today I will be using a pointed tip brush, but any brush is fine. If it has a square tip, doesn't really matter, as long as you have something to spread the ink out over the paper. Okay, you could even use your hands and fingers if you wanted to. Okay, so let's set it all up. Okay, so today we're doing sun. So if it's your first time, it might help to have a printout of what you're doing. There is a link to a PDF in the description of this video, and it has lots of nice kanji there for you to choose from, including sun. So you can put that underneath the paper, like so. Okay, now sun is a good basic kanji, and remember how we start from top to bottom and we go left to right. So if I pick up my brush, I dip it in the ink, right, or the paint, and just hold it, I don't know, you can hold it vertical in the beginning, put it down on the paper, and just go straight down, trace that one underneath the paper, stop, lift it up, go up to the top again. Now we go from left to right, go across, and pause a bit, and then go down, stop. Okay, now I might need some more ink, so I'll put the brush back in the inkwell, and then I go to the middle line from left to right, and then finally the bottom one from left to right. Put my brush down, and there you go, the sun. Okay, so that's the sun, and yeah, for our first time it really helps having that printout underneath the paper, so you have something to follow, you can get the dimensions right, and practice there until you feel comfortable taking that out and putting it on the side, looking at it and copying, and then you can get to the stage where you don't need that paper anymore, and you can just paint the character from memory. And also it gives you more freedom. You can change the shape of it a bit if you want. You can use lots of ink, you can use little ink, and that's also fun too. So let's try it once more. This time we're going to use a lot of ink and we're just going to have fun. Alright, we're going to do the sun again. I'm going to use lots of ink, and I'm not going to care about how it looks. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just going to become one with the brush. That was really fun. So as you can see, I pushed down really hard and it's quite thick. Between each stroke, so you've got 4 strokes there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. What you can do, it's pretty fun. You might have noticed between strokes 3 and 4, I sort of kept the brush in contact with the paper a little. I didn't lift it completely off, so you can see it's connected, the third and the fourth stroke are connected there. So that's really great to do as well. Okay, let's do one more. This time I'm not going to use much ink. I'm just going to use a little ink and it's going to look really dry, but that also has a great effect too. So let's try that. Okay, so now I've got my brush. It's pretty dry, there's not a lot of ink on it. And between strokes I'm not going to dip it back in. I'm just going to use it from start to finish, and you'll notice that it's going to get quite dry towards the end, but that's really fun too. So here we go. There you go, so not a lot of ink there. In fact, what I could do is do it again and just not put any more ink in it, and it'll be even drier. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so these are the 4 suns that we did today. First one, moderate amount of ink, quite traditional, a little restrained. Second one, heavy on the ink, okay, went a bit wild there. And then we have dry and super dry. Personally, I love the super dry one. I love that scratchy look, it's just amazing. We use black ink today. Traditionally they use black ink. Most Japanese people, in fact all of the Japanese people I know, have only ever used black ink. So in the next video we're going to break from tradition, we're going to let loose, and we're going to use some colour. So watch out for that one. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to paint the sun in Japanese. The most important thing to remember is just have fun with it and play with it. I know it can be very frustrating sometimes when you have an image in your mind of how you want the character to look and the hands just produce something completely different. Don't worry, it's not about producing something that looks nice. It's more about feeling the brush move and flow in your hands. It's more about coming into the present moment. And you'll find that whatever you produce, if you were able to find stillness in producing that, when you look at the image afterwards, it will remind you of that special time. So until our next video, just play with it. And if you have any feedback or questions, if there's a character you'd like to learn how to paint, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, wait, just one more thing before we go. I have a question to ask. Which is your favourite version of the sun? Moderate amount of ink, heavy amount of ink, dry or super dry? I'd really love to know. Please let me know in the comments below. Okay, bye.